Hey roamers, it's Jamie back at you. Do you want to get rid of the ugly DuraShield on the front of your RV? I'm going to show you how to do that on this episode of Roaming with Rosie. Hey roamers, when we initially bought the Rosie 2.3, when we looked at the front, I was like, what's wrong with it? It has bugs and all that kind of junk off it, and they had detailed it. And then the guy said, well, it has DuraShield on it. And over time, DuraShield, the bugs will actually eat into it, and you can't get the discoloration and all that kind of stuff off. So what I want to do is I want to remove it, so that way I can actually clean the bugs off and buff it out, and it'll look a lot better. Because I've cleaned it and done all that kind of stuff, and it never looks good. So I just want the DuraShield off. So that's what we're going to be doing on this episode, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So right here you can see it's all nice and shiny. That's because there's no DuraShield on here. And where this is, has DuraShield on it. Now I don't know if when they initially put it on in the beginning, if it's nice and clear and you still get the shine through it, or if it always looks like that. I just don't like the way it looks, and I don't like that you can't get rid of those bugs. I guess the insides of the bugs, when they die, eats away at the DuraShield, and that's why you get those terrible things on there. So I'm getting rid of all of it. That way I can buff this out when I can wash it real nice, get rid of all the bug guts and all that kind of stuff, and then buff it out. So because today is gonna be like 96 degrees out, it's perfect for being able to take this off. Because what happens is, with the heat, the adhesive lets go a lot easier. So basically all I gotta do is take my scraper with the plastic razor blades and start it under here, and you can see, because of how warm it is out, it's basically coming right off. And you just work yourself down, and if you're lucky, you get your thumbs close to where you pull them back, big chunks will come off. And just like on the Alpha, when I took the decals off, there's adhesive here, and I'm going to use the same stuff for taking that off. But first I'm going to get rid of all the plastic off of here, and then we'll work on getting rid of that adhesive. But this is going to be kind of a long, tedious job, but I think it's going to look a lot better once it's all off of there. Like I said, you want to do this when it's warm. If you do it when it's, colder outside, this stuff's going to be a lot more brittle, and it's not going to be as easy to get off. When I was talking with the owner at the place where we bought the RV, he was saying, oh, if you take it off, you got to repaint it. That's not necessarily the case. I mean, it may be in some instances, but what I'm seeing is it's coming off, really easy. It's not coming off in big chunks, and it's going to take time, but I mean, it is doable. So I just don't like the way it looks. The front of the RV, when I wash it and try and make it look nice, the front always looks like crap because of the bug guts. And my brother-in-law, who owns a body shop, said, get rid of that stuff. You don't want it on there. So I'm taking his advice and getting it off. Now, when I did the decal project on the Alpha, getting rid of all the decals, the one thing you do want to do, because these scrapers are plastic, over time, the front of the scrape, these plastic razor blades, they get dull, and then it won't work as well. So you're going to want to, when you see it's getting tough and it's not coming off that easy, you want to switch the sides. So these are two-sided, and then when you go through one razor, the whole razor blade on both sides, you just want to change it out. So I don't know how many blades I'm going to go through. It's probably going to be a lot more than what it was with the Alpha, because the Alpha, the stripes weren't the whole front of the RV, so, and they were a lot thinner. So it's just a long, tedious job. Right now we have the adhesive, but I have that remover that takes it right off, and I'm just going to use that after I got all the plastic off of here and get rid of all the adhesive on there, and then clean it up and buff it out, and it'll look a lot better. I've been working on it for about an hour, and I got all the way from here over to here, all the way down off, and you can see all this adhesive still on the front here. So what I use to get rid of it is this rapid remover. You get it off of Amazon. It's the only place I've been able to find it. And then what I do is I spray it on there, take a rag, and I get the rag kind of moistened, and then I also shoot it on here, and then you just wipe it, and it starts breaking up the adhesive.
Okay.
If it's really thick, what I do is I take the scraper and go like that, and you can see it lifting off. It's like a gummy mess, but like if I wipe this, you can see where it's nice and shiny under there, as opposed to this where it's dull. And I'll be able to, when the bugs land on here and die and all that, I'll be able to clean them off and then buff this out, and it'll be nice and shiny. I'm gonna get this section all cleaned up, and then we'll continue on. So yesterday I got this all off here, and then cleaned it all up, got all the adhesive off of it and everything. Down here it's a little bit oxidized, so that was under the clear cover. So, but once I buff that out and polish it out with it should be good. And today what I've managed to get off, I managed to get all this off here, and it was coming off in real big sections, so that was really nice. I was just be able to pull it with my hands. So I've gotten all this off all the way over to here, and started working this way, back this way. And like I said, you know, once we got that all off, you can see how shiny that is. It's nice and shiny there. I think I've gone through maybe 10 of these razor blades since I started. And when you get a good run going, you want to keep your hands as close to the RV as possible. And they kind of come off like that. You can see here that when they put the DuraShield on, it's oxidized here and down here, and they didn't make the effort to actually polish this out, buff it out and polish it out before they put the DuraShield on there. So now that I've removed it, it's still there. So I'm going to have to buff that all out and polish it out, and it'll look every bit as shiny as the rest of it once I hit it with the buffer and the polisher. So back when we were having some of the service work done, when the painter fixed that side compartment door, when he took that dent out and repainted it and all that, I was talking to him about removing this, and I told him what I was planning on doing. And what they do is they actually use a steamer, so they steam it, and the steam, I guess, makes the adhesive let go. So I'm going to start on my side over here and start peeling the last big piece of this off. Oop. So if you're lucky, you can have big pieces like that come off, and it goes relatively quickly. But it doesn't happen all the time. I'm sure some of you are wondering why I'm not using the heat gun like I did on the Alpha when I removed the decals. When I was talking to the guy that painted the storage doors, he said you want to be real careful about getting the paint really super hot. Getting gel coat hot is one thing, or fiberglass is one thing, but when you have a painted surface, you don't know how it's going to react with that heat on there, and I don't want to cause any issues with our paint. So that's why I'm doing it with just the scraper and the temperature outside. So that's just one heads up for people who have a painted coach. you probably don't want to use a heat gun on it. I've got all the DuraShield removed now, and I also got rid of all the adhesive. You can see there's more spots here where it's oxidized. But what I want to do now is I want to wash the entire front of the RV, get all of the adhesive remover and all that stuff off of here so I got a nice clean surface. And then once it's nice and shady over here, I can buff it out. You don't want to buff it out in the sun because what'll happen is the product that you're using will dry up really fast, and it won't come out nice at all. It'll dry too quickly and you'll get swirl marks in the paint and all that kind of stuff. So now that I've washed everything up, got it all nice and clean, as you can see, I've already started buffing it out. I did this section first just to see how it came out. It looks really good. I've used Meguiar's in the past. I ordered this stuff when I was doing the alpha. It's called Rejuvenator. I got it at Amazon. Works really good. So I'm gonna actually use this stuff instead of the Meguiar's. When I go to spread it, I use a lower speed to initially get the product all over, and then once I have it all over, then I double my speed. So right now I have it on 2. So I'm going to go ahead and work the product in first. This is the exact reason why I wanted that stuff off. I couldn't get that with that DuraShield stuff on there. Couldn't get that shine or anything like that because the bugs were embedded in it. So I've done up here, I've done down here. I'm just got to work my way that way and get this thing all buffed out. Now that I've buffed it all out after removing all the DuraShield and removing all the adhesive, the next step is I've washed it again, so I've washed the entire front of the RV. We need to put a wax on there to protect it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a good wax on there. It's a Meguiar's wax. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to show you how I do that with my little buffer. The reason I'm using the little buffer is because it doesn't have a real high speed to it, and it doesn't throw the product all over the place. So I'm going to use that. It works really well when you're waxing. So I'm going to apply that and then show you how I wipe it all off. So basically, if anybody's ever waxed a car, you know how that works. You apply the wax, you let it dry, and you can tell it's dry because it looks like a white, kind of a white sheen across wherever you've waxed it. And then you go ahead and buff that off, wipe it off with a microfiber cloth. So I'm going to do that now. What I'm using is I'm using the Meguiar's mirror glaze. It's number 26. It's called Professional. It's the high-tech yellow wax. So that's what I'm using. I use this on the Alpha as well. And basically what I do is just put like 5 small dabs, like so. This thin strip here, I really can't get that buffer in there, so I'm going to use a pad and do it by hand. So now that I got product all over, this side is pretty much dry, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off with my microfiber cloth. So now the waxing is all complete. The entire project is complete now. Basically, when we bought the RV and I walked up and I looked at it and I asked them, I said, does this have one of those clear DuraShield things on it? They said, yeah, and I looked and I saw that, and in fact did. And when I talked to the owner of the sales lot, he basically told me if you try to pull it off, you're gonna have to get the front completely repainted and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of found that hard to believe. Luckily for me, because I was doing it in the heat, the DuraShield was letting go pretty easily. I've seen other people where they've had kind of a bear where it comes off in small chunks. And I had a little bit of that in this project, but for the most part, it came off pretty easily. And then with that rapid remover, the adhesive came off really nicely. So I'm really happy with the way it looks. When you look at it now from the front, especially with it buffed and waxed, it's nice and shiny. Is it perfect? No. I mean, it's a 2017, and I don't know how well the people prior to us took care of it, but it looks 100% better than it did with the DuraShield on there. I had a couple of people ask me, would I put that back on? Not in a million years. I'd rather touch up where I get paint chips, and I do have touch up, because when we had the side door done, when we actually purchased the RV, the guy gave me, I actually purchased touch-up colors for all of the colors that are on the RV. So if I ever get chips or anything like that, I'm able to touch those up. So I'm really happy with the way it came out. That's going to wrap it up for this project. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd share it with your friends and family on social media. And if you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, so that way you'll be notified each time we upload a new video. And make sure to leave a comment, that way you could be part of the conversation. Until next time, we'll see you.